Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm in the woods today. One of my favourite things to do out in the wild is hunt for mushrooms. I've always been intrigued by mushrooms, and I've been itching to get out to the woods. I'm just at the tail end of COVID now. Myself, my wife and my daughters had it. I think one of them may not have had it, I'm not sure. It's very strange how it got three of us and not the fourth. But Neve, the smallest one of my daughters, she may have had it. Maybe mild symptoms, I'm not really sure. But I'm at the tail end of it now. At the moment I'm just struggling a little bit with breathing. My wife and myself were double vaccinated, so I'm thinking that's how we got through it so easily. It was just like a mild flu. But at the moment the only thing I can feel is a little bit groggy, and my chest, breathing. I'm finding it a little bit difficult, almost like I've been running but I haven't. Apart from that, pretty good. So yeah, so in the woods, and whatever mushrooms I find, I'll record those and put them in a video. So stick around. Cheers guys. Into the woods we go. I've shown this stuff in some of my videos before. It's lichen moss, and it's a really good fire starter when it's dry. Really fine, and you'll find that on trees. It's really great stuff for lighting a fire. And actually I think there's an Irish artist, and she frames this, she puts this and little bits of turf and things from Ireland into a frame, makes it look really Irish, and she sells it all over the world, and she makes, I'm sure, a decent living from it. So it just looks really pretty. A lichen moss. And you'll find different types of that all around the seaside as well, all around the shore, on the rocks. I think there's like probably 5 or 6 or maybe even more different types of it. Really nice. Okay, so I just walked through here, that area right between those trees there, and you can see along here, you can start to see the tracks of deer going into the woods there. So this is, you can see a lot of deer tracks here. You can see the shape of their hooves all the way through there. So this would be perfect territory for ticks. I'm not saying to be afraid of ticks, but you need to just know about them. I've been out in the wild since I've been probably 10 years of age, walking through all sorts of stuff in rivers and lakes and all over the place, and I've never had to worry about a tick before. But my wife, last year, she had 3 ticks that she had to take out of her skin, and she had to go on antibiotics as well. The ticks will carry Lyme disease, so Lyme disease is a horrible disease to have. So just make sure if you get the tick in your skin, take it out before 24 hours and you should be good. After that, their disease that they carry starts to make its way into your bloodstream, so just be really careful. Ah, there's a little frog. There you go, buddy. Little frog gone hopping in there. This mushroom here is an old Birch Polypore. So of course that's on a birch tree, and yeah, so it's a dead birch tree and it's feeding off of that. And the underside of the Birch Polypore, they used to use them as plasters because they have antibacterial properties in them. So people used to use the underside of them literally as a plaster to heal a wound. It will just stick to your skin. It just peels off like a little layer of skin. And yeah, so Birch Polypore. If anyone knows what this stuff is, let me know. There's so much of it around here, it's gorgeous. Kind of like what you'd see in the Japanese gardens. Lovely kind of moss. Really, really nice. In amongst all the heather. I think these are sulphur tufts. They're not edible. Kind of a yellow top to them. And the kind of greeny coloured pores below. They look almost fluorescent. The colour of them is not really coming out on the screen there. I won't be taking any of those with me. Another thing as well is if you do have edible mushrooms and you have them in your basket and then you start adding in other mushrooms, you're going to contaminate your edible ones with your poisonous ones. So if you have edible mushrooms, just keep them separated from the other ones. There are so many milk caps around here, but yeah, as far as I know, the woolly milk cap is not edible. It has a rolled rim. I don't want to break it out of the ground because there's no point really. But it has a rolled rim and gills on the bottom, where of course some mushrooms have pores. This has gills. Yeah, and you've got that woolly edge. So again, if I break a little piece off that, there you can see all the milk coming out there. So that's where it gets its name, milk cap. And some of them are edible and some of them are not. Another one there. Another one here. But again guys, like I mean, I never mess with mushrooms and no one should ever mess with mushrooms. Don't pick and eat anything you're not sure of. I myself only know of probably about 6 or 7 good wild edible mushrooms that I can find in the forests. And it's enough for me to be able to have fun, get out with kiddies, get a few mushrooms, bring them home and make some food out of them. So some kind of polypore here. I think it might be turkey tail, but I'm not sure. And turkey tail is known to be a great medicinal mushroom for helping cancers and all sorts of other things. But I don't think it's turkey tail. Maybe. If anyone knows, let me know there in the comments below. So guys, just to show you what I use when I'm doing videos, I literally just have a Samsung A7, I think it's called, and I just use the Samsung A7 and the GoPro. I think this is a GoPro Hero 4, I think it is. Just really simple on a little tripod like that. You can wrap that around the branches of a tree or whatever you want to do. So just my phone and this, travelling really light with a basket there for the mushrooms. So yeah, really handy. So I'm going to switch over to the GoPro now and record on that. I've never really used the GoPro just for recording. So I'm going to do quite a bit of recording with that now and see how that goes. Really simple. Okay, GoPro is on. Don't know what the footage is going to be like, but you will see. This area in here looks like a prime location for mushrooms. It's very moist, right beside like the edge of a bog where all the water runs off. So there's like a little stream there. So all of this area will be very, very wet. And of course, mushrooms like water. Right at the edge of the stream, there's winter chanterelles. They just caught my eye there, and there's lots more there as well. Look, you can see a lot of small ones here. They're tiny. These are just growing. There's lots of them there. I'll try and get a few close-ups of them. The bigger ones are over here. Oh my god, there's quite a lot. Once you get in amongst them and you can kind of recognise them and see the colours, on the floor of the forest. It just goes on and on. Then you can your eyes adjust to the mushrooms. So here you can see them all at the side of the little stream. And the small ones are there as well. So I'm going to pick a few handfuls of these. Like I've said in previous videos, guys, about picking anything in the wild, just move around. You know, you don't want to. The mushrooms are trying to do their job, which is break down the leaves and the dead matter on the forest floor to keep the forest healthy. Otherwise, the trees would suffocate. So you have to leave some mushrooms there to do their job. So, you know, just take a handful here and a handful there, and just move around. So these are pretty small. I mean, they're going to get, you know, probably 3 or 4 times larger than that over the next week or so. But here there's much smaller ones just to the left. So that's, you know, that's pinning there. There's some really, really lovely ones here. I'm just going to pick a few of these. Because they're nice and small. I like them when they're smaller. They just look much nicer, and they're less dirty as well. The older ones, when there's a lot of rain, the rain can kick up all the dirt from the forest floor and it gets underneath the mushrooms and they get very dirty. And there's a lot of work in cleaning them. When the sunlight shines through them, you just see gold. I'll take those two. So that's the underside of the mushroom. Chanterellus tubiformis, I think it's called. So that's the winter chanterelle. But I'm not 100% sure on the Latin name of this particular one. But underneath the mushroom, there's no gills and there's no pores. It's just folds, like an old person's skin. So the mushroom is completely unique in itself when you're trying to identify it. Brown leaf like on the top, yellow stem, and then folds below. Like your skin when you've been in the bath too long. Pretty much the same thing with the mushroom, absorbing all the water. Wrinkles on the bottom. More for the pan. Okay, so we're on the move again. So guys, just something I'm going to point out to you now is the relationship that a mushroom has with a tree. Not all mushrooms will have a relationship with a plant, but a lot of them do. So if you're looking for a particular type of mushroom, it's much easier to identify the type of trees that are in the forest rather than just going stumbling around the forest looking for mushrooms when it might not contain the trees that it's related to. So a lot of the trees that are here in this particular woods are Scots pine, and the mushrooms that I'm finding here are winter chanterelles. So the winter chanterelles will be generally associated with Scots pine, but also have relationships with other trees. So what happens is there's a trade-off, like any relationship. There's a trade-off between the mushroom and the tree. So the mycelium of the mushroom, which is the mushroom's own roots, millions and millions of microscopic roots below the surface of the soil, will be moving their way around underneath the soil, trying to find a host. The host being the tree. Okay, so mycelium will attach itself to the roots of a tree, and what happens is the mushroom, when it comes up in autumn time, will absorb water from the environment around it, and will absorb that water and pass that through to the tree. So the tree, having its own roots, will absorb its own water, but it will have a lot of help from the mushroom. So the mushroom will absorb the water and the rain, give that to the tree, and also the mushroom will break down any dead matter like leaves, and like being autumn time, that's when most mushrooms come up, and that's generally why they come up in autumn time, is because they'll break down the dead matter that falls off the tree and falls onto the forest floor, so that the forest doesn't suffocate. So the mushroom is going to break all of that down for the tree, and then in turn what the tree will do is the tree will actually feed the mushroom sugars. So literally like one of your kids, the mushroom is absolutely delighted because it's getting all the sugar from the tree. So that's the trade-off. So mushroom will break down the dead matter and also absorb water and give that to the tree, and in turn the tree will give the mushroom sugars. So the symbiotic relationship there between one particular type of mushroom and a particular type of tree. If you're looking for a particular type of mushroom, just look around for the tree that it's generally associated with. Yeah, so I'm going to have a look around for more Scots pine, and I'm going to try and find a mother lode. So there's the water, right there, and there's the chanterelles, all there, and a really lovely bunch of them there as well. Oh my god, they're actually continuing all the way in under those trees. So if you find a good bunch of them, generally you just follow the path and they'll just continue on. Not easy though. All of this knotty foliage here, that's all rhododendrons. Some silver birch there as well. But so that's silver birch here and here. But just right there, that really large trunk of a tree with all the ivy growing up it, that's Scots pine. Time to go and get them in the pan. Yes, I'm just looking for a nice clearing where I can cook these mushrooms. This looks like a good spot over here. No point trying to reinvent the wheel. Just want a bit of space where I can sit down, have a bit of food. Oh man, I'm absolutely wrecked. I'm only in the woods about an hour and a half. Time for food. Oh, plenty of mushrooms. Cooking time. My favourite time. Man, I wanted to be a chef when I was a teenager. Would you believe that? Oh my god, the amount of stuff I used to cook at home, and absolutely ruined more food in my house when I was a teenager. I burned more things, and the amount of curry powder I put into everything was just unnatural. Oh Jesus. Yeah, so I've always liked food and enjoyed cooking. Never been good at it, but I always just have a bit of fun with it. So out in the wild I always like to just cook a little bit of something, because just finishes off the day, and to be able to get something in the wild and cook it while you're out there. I mean, What else would you want to be doing? Look at it. There's absolutely not a sinner around. Me, the trees and the mushrooms. So, gas cooker from Halford's. Little tiny pan that I always get, that I always use. And just a little canister of gas here. Engage that. Sometimes it leaks a little bit, so you have to be careful of that. I don't want to set the woods on fire. There's stones and everything in here from my kids. They do pick up stones on their travels. Neve, my youngest daughter, picks up stones and all sorts of shiny stuff. She's like a little magpie, and she's like her daddy. She loves picking up stones, and she brings them home to me even from the schoolyard and tells me, "Daddy, I found crystals." There's absolutely no wind in the woods. That's a good thing in the woods as well. You can turn your gas heater down quite low and the wind isn't going to blow it out on you. So I'll turn it down low there, because I normally burn the SH1T out of everything. If I had to do everything one-handed now and record at the same time. Jesus. Grand bit of oil in there. I'm getting extra footage up there from the GoPro hanging out of that tree there. Actually, look at it, right there. You can see the roots of the ivy going around the Scots pine, and that strangles the tree and pretty much kills the Scots pine. And what some people do is they cut a notch out of the ivy, about 6-inch notch away from the ivy root, and then the ivy dies from the top and allows the tree to continue on growing. But you can see the ivy is going all the way up here. This is not a managed forest here, so all the ivy goes all the way up there, and right there you can see the ivy, prosperous as ever. All of that really lush greenery there is ivy, and then at the top there, looking a little bit dry and very strangled, is the top of the Scots pine tree right there. Ivy, wonderfully doing great all year round. Scots pine, of course, is an evergreen tree too. But it doesn't look very, very healthy there. So, Scots pine, ivy. See ivy roots all the way coming down. It's warming up nicely. A little bit of bread. Oh Jesus, it's burning. Of course it got now. Told you I burn bloody everything. Take that off the heat. So I'm going to try and get the 2 pieces of bread in there. That looks really nice. So I'm just picking the cleanest mushrooms, save a whole ton of hassle, and get those in there. Ah! There's a bit of dirt gone in there, of course there is. I don't think there's any bugs though. Oh my god, they just look absolutely amazing. And the colour, that orangey colour, Jesus, that orangey colour from the stem is just lovely. So you can see how moist the mushrooms are. All that liquid there, that's obviously just liquid coming from the mushrooms. When that reduces down, it just kind of caramelizes and it's just gorgeous. So I'll just pour that over the fried bread then. I can't tell you the smell is lovely because I can't smell anything at the moment. But it looks great. And then that's pretty much it. Mushrooms on top, salt and pepper. Okay, I can't do this with the camera. Salt and pepper has gone in, so just enjoy. Like I said, folks, my smell is completely gone. Yeah, my taste is like, you can hardly taste it. Such a shame. All I will say is, you know, they absolutely are gorgeous, and doing something simple like that, you know, out in the woods is great. It's just unfortunate that I can't taste it. I'm gonna throw a whole pile more salt in there and just see if I can taste it any better at all. Tons of salt gone in there now. Oh Jesus. And tons of pepper. Alright. Sure, look at my hunger. It'll kill the hunger anyway. That's for sure. Jesus. Getting a little bit of flavour there. But yeah, look at. Like I said with mushrooms, just don't ever take a risk with them. Make sure you're 100% about the identification. Get out in the woods, get yourself a few mushrooms, have fun with the kiddies or whatever. Enjoy yourself. Thanks for watching the video, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. What I can taste of it, it's really nice. Clean plate. Always a good sign. Cheers for watching, guys. Appreciate that. If you wouldn't mind, give it a like there and subscribe as well. Thanks a million.